Hey everybody, welcome back to Parents vs. Gaming. This is episode 29, and my name is James Ayers III. I'm James III on Twitch, and I am joined by my co-host, Kia Kane. Kia, how are you?
I am good. It's been a very busy day today.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what happens when you're a parent, right? And trying to have a gaming life at the same time.
Very much so.
So, of course, we're here to we're here to help everybody, right? We kind of want to give some tips, advice, and help other parents that may have kids that game and whatnot, or maybe they game themselves and working on how to maintain their own relationship, or all kinds of weird things we go about. But today, I think we want to focus and give people a head start on holiday shopping. Finding a console, whether it's a video game console right now or building a PC, these things take time. You can't just walk in on Christmas Eve and get what you want, especially right now. And, we kind of want to give a rundown and maybe help people exactly what they should do. So for those tuning into the first time, I have a 17-month-old, so he will not be playing any video games anytime soon. Maybe an iPad or something like that. But Kia, what about you? You've got Kane, and Kane is how old?
I got Kane. He is 6. He just turned 6 this past September. He definitely is a video gamer. He plays video games. He's currently playing Humans Fall Flat.
Human Fall Flat? Yeah.
Yeah, Human Fall Flat right now, which is a great problem-solving game. But my son is also very animated, like I am, when it comes to playing video games, so he can get really loud.
Hey, that's not always a bad thing.
But yeah, so he plays video games, and he gets it honest. Mom plays video games. My dad plays my dad plays video games. His dad plays video games. It's just
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
All right, so let's dive right into it. Now we've got our researcher Quick has been on this for us. He's been researching a lot of stuff for us on our episodes. And we asked him, hey, Quick, can you kind of come up with a little buyer's guide and what's going on in the world of buying a console? And I just want to get this out of the way. Apparently, one of the main reasons that current console development and graphics card development is having a problem, and it's specifically PlayStation, is that there's now this war going on.
Yeah.
And they're calling it the PlayStation Wars?
They're calling it the PlayStation Wars. It's a conflict and mineral problem. Let's see. Oh, try to remember where it was at.
Yeah, it's like in the Congo, right?
Crazy. Yeah. Yes, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yeah. That's where it's at right now, and it has sparked a civil war. Like,
wow.
What? Like, it's crazy. I don't understand. And
it makes sense, right? Because the income and the money that comes from developing this stuff and mining what's needed to make these products, it's territory control, right? It's huge profits.
Oh yeah. That's usually what wars break out of. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't want to say PlayStation is this awful evil company. Every company
it's not.
Shoe development and all this is in the same light, right? But it definitely goes to show you. Quick went on and talks about Phil Spencer, who runs the Xbox department, that he expects these shortage supply of consoles to last until easily the middle of 2022.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's I don't think a lot of people realize how much stuff goes into making electronics.
Yeah.
Like the minerals that are used to make these electronics to make our lives easier.
Yeah, true. A lot of people don't think about that at all.
Yeah. So
okay, so let's dive into it a little bit. Now, it used to be like when we were kids. Well, when I was a kid, and 10 years ago for you when you were a kid.
Shut up.
It used to be that, there was Atari, and then the Nintendo came out, and then a Sega came out, and then the new Nintendo came out. And it was pretty easy for parents, right? You wanted to get the newest thing, because the newest thing is all that played the new games. But it's changed a lot, right? As PC gaming integration has kind of changed the way consoles are done, you don't necessarily need the latest and greatest to play the latest and greatest. And that can be a little confusing for someone that, you know, they're trying to buy for their kid, and their kid says, I want the new PlayStation, or I want the new Xbox. And maybe they haven't played video games at all, or maybe they are. But as a parent, if you don't know what you're going into, you walk into a Best Buy and you have no idea what you're looking for.
You go into Best Buy, and those people, those Best Buy people go, those Best Buy people know who they are. They see that. They see those parents that are just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like, oh, you need this and this and this and this. And then you walk out spending like $3,000 and you're like, what am I going to do with all this stuff?
Yeah, which is funny, you know.
Need all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's super funny. I will say this. I will vouch for Best Buy. They don't work on commission, so it is funny it is funny when I do come across. Sometimes I like to go in there and play really dumb when I'm looking for a new router or something and see if they try to sell me the latest thing. Yeah, it's really funny. And I'm like, oh, you guys work on commission? And they're like, no. And I'm like, sometimes I think they do that because the person selling you actually doesn't really know themselves. So they just try to sell you the best one possible. Because
they just assume, they assume that this is the best one possible.
Yeah.
That it's what you need, and it's not.
You know, a great place that hopefully they stick around a little bit longer. But if you're a parent, you're listening, and you want to be a little bit more knowledgeable, and maybe you want to get knowledgeable in your area and not necessarily reach out to us, don't forget you can reach out to us, lastchoicenetwork@gmail.com or parentsfirstgaming@gmail.com. Key and I will answer you directly and help you with any advice that you need. You know, I'll even walk you over on the phone if I need to help you out. But there are still some GameStops out there. And I promise you, if you just want to learn a little bit, walk into a GameStop, because even the person working there or a customer in there, they're so knowledgeable on what to do. They'll laugh and tell you, okay, you only need this and this and this. The first things they'll ask you are, what kind of games do your kids play? What kind of games do you play? What do you want to play? What did they want to play? And then they'll tell you, you know, what kind of console. So let's jump into it a little bit here. Let's start with PlayStation. Now, PlayStation's a little bit complicated, right? So you've got your PlayStation 4 and your PlayStation 4 Pro and a PlayStation 4 Slim. Now, and in your newest PlayStation 5. Now, this is just me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. If you want to save money and get a PlayStation 4, you can still play quite a few games. At this point, if you're getting a new console, you cannot, I would say this, do not buy anything less than the PlayStation 4 Pro, because it's super outdated, and that machine sounds like it's going to take off like a jet engine.
It does.
And it may...
I love PlayStation. I love them. My husband has one of the older PlayStation 4s, and is... like, it hates certain games. Like, straight up, this PlayStation hates certain games. It sounds like a jet engine. Like, it is going to take off. Now, I have one of the newer PlayStation 4s. It's still a few years old, obviously, because I've had it for a long time now. But it's very quiet. I can play. And that's another thing, is like PlayStation 5s are so hard to get right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't find them all.
You can't. But here's the thing. There are not a whole lot of new PlayStation 5 games that are strictly for PlayStation 5, okay? And a lot of the new games that are coming out are still coming out to PlayStation 4.
Correct, like the new God of War.
Don't think you have to have, like the new God of War. I can't wait. Don't think you have to have a PlayStation 5 just for these new games. Yeah, it's great because it's the newest, latest, greatest thing. But you can still, there are so many games on PlayStation 4 that you can still play and still get.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I just don't want to tell anyone, oh, you definitely need the PlayStation 5. Listen, I know. Now, if you have a teenager that's been gaming and they've had the PlayStation 4 forever and they want the PlayStation 5 because it's next, I totally understand. That makes sense. And at this point, you're probably a parent that doesn't need our advice. Yeah, you know. Now, we'll get into that. Next is the Scalpers. Is like you said, quick in our research here, he brought up, because the consoles are getting bought so quickly, when they release, they'll show up on Walmart or Best Buy, and people are immediately, these bots and these programs are immediately scooping them all up. And one thing that gets a little bit confusing is that Best Buy and Walmart, well, I don't know about Best Buy, but Walmart, Amazon, and eBay all have third-party sellers that look like it's selling from Amazon.com or Walmart. I mean, eBay's kind of its own thing already, but you could Google right now PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, Walmart.com, and it'll be like, oh, Walmart's selling the new PlayStation 5 for $1,200. No, it's just the way that they allow third-party sellers. So that's something, if you're going to go the online route, you really need to pay attention to the pricing on something. Don't just say, oh, I'm on Walmart and it says there's a PlayStation 5, I'm going to get it because I know it's, what, $500? No. Make sure you double check the price. Make sure you're not clicking on a third-party site, even though it says Walmart.com, because it's misleading.
That's just it. If you click on it, it will bring you to that third-party site, and then you will know automatically that it's a third-party site. You don't need to, like, first of all, Walmart, Amazon, not really Amazon, but Walmart, Best Buy, any of those sites, they're not going to have the PlayStation 5 listed above its actual price.
Correct. Yeah, they're
not going. Like, it's going to be
it's illegal
$4.99 or $3.99. It's not going to be more than that. So if you click on, like, if you see that and it says it's $1,200, it's not Walmart. It's not Best Buy.
Yeah.
It's a third party.
All right. So now we're going to move on to PC. Now PC, you've got your build your own, right? Mm-hmm. You've got pre-built. You can walk into a Best Buy or a Micro Center, something like that, and look at pre-built computers. You can go on the fancy websites that your teenager might have found and said, oh, I want to build my own PC, and it's a great project, and it's great, and they can definitely save a little bit of money, but not too much, right? The pre-builts nowadays, from whether you go to nzxt.com or CyberPower, like, they're really good pre-builts, and essentially they're just charging you a small fee to build it for you. Don't you agree?
Yes. Just be careful. Like, if you go into a store like Best Buy or if you go in looking for a pre-built, please go in there well informed. Like, go in there knowing what you need and look for, because, like we said earlier, those Best Buy employees, they're just going to try to sell you the latest and greatest, more than likely, and it's not even out of commission. They may not know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Some of them do. Some of them know exactly what they're talking about, but not all of them. So go in there knowing what you want. I just recently got into PC gaming, and my husband he's pretty good with PC stuff. So we were looking, because I really wanted to just build my own PC. But right now, this market could change a little bit. We don't know. But right now, the best thing for you to do is more than likely get a pre-built.
Yeah.
Because of the shortage of the GPUs, which is your graphics card. So your best bet is to do a pre-build.
Yeah.
And obviously, the higher the graphics card, the more expensive your pre-build is going to be.
Now, I do want to get into the fact that I do want to let people, when we talk consoles, we're talking anywhere from $399 to $499. When you talk PCs, even a legitimate gaming PC, even the basic bare minimum, you're looking at a minimum of probably $1,100.
Minimum.
To be able to play anything. And, one thing to keep aware is if they're a big fan of all the PlayStation exclusives or Nintendo exclusive, they cannot play those on PC. I mean, there's a hit or miss on PlayStation that's slowly starting to trickle out right now, but they cannot
every
play
once in a while you get a game that comes out to PC. Recently, which is funny because I'm currently playing it, Horizon Zero Dawn is actually a new game to PC. But that game has been on PlayStation since like 2016, I think.
Yeah, and it just came. And now they're just adding God of War next year.
And it just came to PC. So there's a lot of PC players going, oh, Horizon Zero Dawn. And I'm like, that's a good game.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great.
I mean, in the gaming world, it is an older game, but it is phenomenal with graphics. Like, just amazing.
So,
but with...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, with PCs, like, keep in mind, like, we're telling you these prices, and your mind's going to be like, oh, no, my child's not getting some $1,100, $1,200 PC. I need you to understand one thing, though, about that, is those PCs are 100% capable of being upgraded.
Correct.
you can buy the parts to upgrade it and not have to buy a whole new PC. Versus like a PlayStation 4, I'm sorry, the only way to upgrade is to buy the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
You have to buy that new console. There's no, I can just put the parts in versus a PC. So depending on what your child's wanting, take in consideration of that. And if they are wanting a PC, like, don't shut them down. Just think about it. Like, yeah, it's an investment. Trust me, that it is. But
they can also do more. They can do more on a PC than just gaming, right?
They can.
So you take advantage
Xbox
of
now
everything.
has, you have the Xbox Pass that you can get on the PC now. I have it.
Yeah.
And you can get games from there on the Pass. And you can play those games on your PC, so it does have a lot more to it.
Yeah, and they can also, like I said, they can also, you've got all your Microsoft programs, whether it's Word and Excel, like the system itself can be used for a lot of different things outside of gaming, so you're kind of getting a benefit there. If you need a computer for your kid anyways, for school, sometimes maybe you can knock off two birds with one stone. Now, I do want to bring up the fact that Valve is the company that makes Steam, which is one of the main gaming platforms on PC where you purchase all your games. Now, Valve has gone and done something that is a little bit unthinkable, and they have made a competitor to the Nintendo Switch, and it's called the Valve Steam Deck.
Oh, yes,
now,
I remember you guys
talking about this. This is a small, portable, it basically looks like the Nintendo Switch, but it is bigger. And they've got 3 different price points depending on what type of screen you want, whether you want the OLED screen or the regular screen. Now, the price drops significantly on these. I think you can get an entry-level one for $399 or $499. Now, it runs like a PC, and you can hook it up to a monitor or to a television, and you can hook up a mouse and keyboard to it. So if you have a kid that wants to get into PC gaming, but you're not ready to drop $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 on a pre-built PC, the Valve Steam Deck is what it's called, is something that you could look into as a parent and have a little entry into the PC gaming world at a lot more affordable price. And on top of the fact, you can unplug all the stuff I just said you could plug into it, and now it's a portable system for the road and for travel.
Yeah.
And has
that's actually
10
really
times
good.
more games. So, that's it. That, in my opinion, if you're getting into PC gaming for the first time with your kid, and they're not, late teenager years that really know what they're doing, and you're kind of worried that they're just gonna like it for a little bit, and then you've wasted $1,200, look at the Steam Deck, because it's gonna be something they use when they travel. And if they really like it and they're hooking it up to a monitor and they're getting to the point where they're like, I need a higher end system, mom or dad, then you can be like, okay, they've put plenty of time into this thing. Now we can invest in PC. So I think that's a great little alternative for them as well.
Yeah.
And then,
and if they're older kids too, like if you're talking like teenagers, something like that, like if you do an allowance, I know not all parents do that, but like if you do an allowance, or maybe even like certain, like, hey, if you start doing a little more around the house, I could, like I'll help you buy it, and have them give up their own money as well if they're really truly wanting this. And it's something that, even like, say not right now for like Christmas or something, but if it's something that they truly want, and you're like, well, if you really want this, help me around the house and I will help you pay for that. Like I'll help you, like I'll meet you halfway or something to that effect. Because sometimes kids just need something to work towards.
Yeah.
But I will say for like younger parents, I know it's not on here, but I want to say for parents with like younger kids, like yourself, James, I would say something that you could look into, because I know you said something about an iPad earlier. I would look into the Amazon Fire Kindle for kids, because they have one that's for kids, and the parental controls that are on this Amazon Kindle is just phenomenal. I love it because you can filter out the age group of how old your child is. You can filter out all the stuff that's for older kids or younger kids. My son's had 2 of them. I will say one thing: get an extra memory card for it. because it does run out of memory quick. And I usually try to make sure that anything that is, I try to say that if it is downloadable to an outside like memory, to download it to that memory card. That way it's not taking up the internal space of what's actually already on.
Yeah.
But it comes with a nice rubber case. Actually, let's see. Oh, I don't see my son's. I was going to show it to you, but it has like this really hard, like not hard rubber, but like a rubber case. So like if they drop it, it doesn't break the tablet.
So it's kind of like dropping your iPhone or something. It's got a nice solid.
Yes, and it even has like, some of them have like a stand, so it could stand. Like it has a built-in little stand you can fold out, and it can stand, and they can play on it. But it's great because it has a bunch of free educational stuff, and it's worth looking into.
Yeah, no, and for sure. That's a great way to get them started on some simple games and kind of know what they want. Yeah.
It is. If you're looking at getting something for your younger children that you want, for something like that. Like, I know for me, it was great for my son when we did road trips. And it helps a lot with us for schoolwork because there's so many educational apps on there that you can get for free. Mm-hmm. So it's really a good thing to look into. But it's even like you can get it for older kids too. They have age, like I said, you can filter out the age range. You can make sure that they have to request permission to download an app first. Like I have that because my son's click happy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely take care of the parental controls.
So the parental controls on it are absolutely phenomenal. Like they've gotten a lot better because when I first got them on, they weren't this involved. It was just like you can do this and that's it. But now there's even more so. Like I said, he has to request to download something. So he has to get my permission first, and it goes to my email saying, "Hey, your child has requested this," and it's like, "Oh, okay, well, let me go see." So that's another thing out there that you can look at for your children as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's jump into. I like the Amazon Kindle. We'll kind of stick with the portable system. So we'll talk about Nintendo Switch. Yeah. Now, Nintendo Switch has been out for a little bit, right? But it can be a little bit confusing again as parents that, their kids think they want the newest thing. Nintendo Switch just released the Nintendo Switch OLED edition, which is a better screen. It's a little bit bigger. They fixed some things in the system, stick drift, and the Joy-Con controllers are a little bit better now. But I just want to throw this caveat out there. If you have a young kid or teenager that plays there, maybe they play it all the time, there is nothing different about this Switch other than the screen. So if you don't have the money to upgrade them, get them a couple extra games instead. I'll be honest, there really is no reason. Now, if you don't have a Nintendo at all, the new OLED edition is the only one you should purchase. I believe it's even going to be the same price. So don't get fooled. Don't go into a Best Buy and get the old one. Yeah, look, they're trying to phase that out. Go ahead and get, if you're getting one right now for the first time, take your time. You've got a couple of months. They don't seem to have I don't think they're going to really have a shortage problem. They're pretty smart with their releases now since the Nintendo Wii. And again, I don't think this is something that's going to be overbearing because a lot of people that have this Switch don't really need this upgrade. But it is a nice upgrade. Now, if you like just having the latest and greatest things, there are enough into this where I think it does make sense for you to upgrade. But if you're just looking to get it for your kid, if you're getting it new, make sure you get the newest version because you don't want to get left behind. If you already have an old one and it runs fine, there's no cracks on it, anything like that, I would highly recommend just maybe saying, hey, instead of getting you the new system for $400, how about we get you two or three new games? I think that goes a lot further, especially when you can dock it and put it on your TV anyways. There's no reason, and a lot of the other stuff is simple to use. So that's where I stand on the Nintendo. Anything for you, Kia, that you would want to add different?
Not that I can really think of. I mean, like you kind of said, it's pretty much like if you already have it and there's really nothing wrong with it, I wouldn't upgrade it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, But if you're brand new to it, you might as well just get the newest one.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I saved obviously, I'm a PC gamer now for the most part, but you know me, You're the big PlayStation fan, girl. I'm a big Xbox fanboy. I've been Xbox since day one. I had a PlayStation, then they came out with an Xbox, and Halo ruined my life for a while. But I have stuck with Xbox through thick and thin. Of course, I own a PlayStation as well. I want to say that out loud. I do own a PlayStation. I do play PlayStation games. I just prefer the Xbox. Now, if you have a kid getting into gaming for the first time and you're not getting the Kindle or looking at a Switch or the new Steam Deck we just talked about, Xbox, in my opinion, and there's going to be a couple things we can talk about here, and you mentioned a little bit earlier, Kia, when we talked about Xbox Game Pass. Xbox, in my opinion, is the best value, hands down. Now, I want to be a little bit forward on this. There's 4 different types of Xbox, in my opinion, that you can currently get. There's the latest and greatest, the newest one, the Xbox Series X. I want to make sure everyone understands what I'm saying. The Xbox Series X. That, if you do not have a 4K television and high-end ways to show you graphics, you really do not need that one. You need to go down to the next one, which is an Xbox Series S. Remember this, Xbox Series S. It is a small white console about the size of a large cookbook. It's ridiculous. It's tiny. Now, this plays up to 1440 gaming, but it plays all the newest games, plays everything great. Now, on the flip side, if you don't want to spend that kind of money, you've got 2 other versions. Now, in my opinion, you've got the Xbox, these are different. They're called the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S. Now, the X, again, is for 4K gaming, but if you're going to spend that kind of money, I would look to go ahead and get a Series X. There's no reason to spend upwards close to $400, when for $100 more, you can get the Series X. Even if you cannot find the Series X, if that's what you want, I would still wait. They're starting to show up. I know that console shortages are crazy, but do not, in my opinion, do not get a 1X when for another $100 you can get the Series X. Now, there is the Xbox One S, which a lot of times you can find for about $200, whether it's used or whatnot. Now, why would you get a 1S, Kia? Number one is Xbox Game Pass. For $10 a month, you can get Xbox Game Pass, and you have a library of over 150, 200 games sometimes. It's kind of like a Netflix service for video games. They can download the games. Then also, this gets a little bit complicated, but Microsoft and Phil Spencer have come out and said that cloud gaming is now unlocked on an Xbox One S. Meaning, if a brand new game comes out for Xbox that is supposed to only be for the Xbox Series X and S systems, if you log into the cloud gaming, you have good internet at home, you can play that game on a Xbox One S. Because the cloud gaming will use the processing power of the Series consoles to play it. So you're never going to be left behind by having an older console. On top of that, if you already have a 1S or maybe you have a 1X, that still works for you too. Maybe, again, you don't need to go get the latest and greatest. Don't go out and, I mean, here I am talking about this. I'm trying to sell my Series X right now for $700. But don't come to someone like me and overpay for it just because you want it right now. There's no reason. There's no reason for that. Honestly, you can do everything. And then the other great thing, maybe you're a PlayStation player. Maybe your kids play PC games and they're always like, oh, I want to buy this new game on Steam. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. He had mentioned it earlier. Xbox Game Pass. You do not need an Xbox for this. For $15 a month, you get what's called Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Now, that includes all of your Xbox Live subscription, whether you have an Xbox or not. That includes, if you have an Xbox, you get Game Pass on your Xbox. You also get Game Pass on PC, which will have, the new Halo's getting ready to come out, the new Forza Horizon car racing games getting ready to come out. That will come out on PC as well as the Xbox console.
Hey, don't forget your
so you can play both, right? And then cloud gaming. You can have cloud gaming on your cell phone, on your iPhone, on any tablet, and that plays all the same games. You just need a good internet connection to be able to do that. So that $15 a month covers 150 plus games, constantly being updated. Every Xbox game, it comes out to Game Pass on day one. If you're a baseball fan, PlayStation had the best baseball game. That is actually now also on Game Pass. It's called MLB The Show. So if you're a big baseball sports fan, I know the playoffs are going on right now. That's there. And for the $15.99 a month, you don't pay anything extra. You don't have to pay $60, $70 for a brand new game. Most games coming out now are between the $60 and $70 mark. So it's a great way, in my opinion. The Game Pass itself is probably the best value in gaming. Hopefully PlayStation or some of these other companies come out with something similar. But that's kind of where I stand. Like I said, you're early buying. If you're getting an Xbox for the first time, or you kind of want to upgrade a little bit, you really just need the Xbox One S for now. If you do not have a 4K high-end television, you really just need the Series S, which is the newest tiny console, but it's the newest one, and it works perfectly fine. And then, of course, if you've got all the bells and whistles and you want the best memory and the best graphical settings and everything, you'll want to get the Series X. But again, the console shortages can make this hard. And like we said, getting something like the One S for someone that just wants to play a lot of Xbox games is something that will hold you over until the middle of next year. It's very low entry cost. Like I said, I believe you can pick one up at a GameStop or something for about $199, $200. So there's really no reason not to jump on that versus feeling like you couldn't get a gift for anyone. And they're going to be able to play everything. It's going to look the same on your television at home. Everything's going to look great. So you've got HDR configuration if you're kind of tech savvy and all that. So I think that's great. But what about you, Kia? Anything else to add?
Oh, I will say, I agree with you on the Xbox price. As far as like pricing wise, you're gonna get the most bang for your buck because of that pass. I absolutely love PlayStation. I have always been a PlayStation fan since day one. It's what I grew up on. You know, my dad had PlayStation 1 when it first came out. So, like, my dad has, you know, he played on the Commodores all the way. Like, he's played on all of them. And he's always been a PlayStation fan, which has always been me, because that's what I grew up on, too. My husband, always been an Xbox person. Just always has been. And, yes, PlayStation has some amazing exclusives. But if you're really looking to get the best deal for your money, I hate to say it, but I would definitely go with an Xbox.
Oh, it hurts a little, doesn't it?
It hurt. Oh, it hurt. But because I love my PlayStation, like I said, I have a PlayStation 4. I have PlayStation Plus on my PlayStation 4. And I love the fact that I can go in and like they change it. You get free games. That's actually how I got Horizon Zero Dawn, and it came with the DLC. I got it 100% for free because they have free games. They change them out every month. You get those free games. You get 2 to 3, and you go in. You can download them. They never take them away. It's just included with your pass. So and that aspect, I love it because I get to keep those games. I don't have to like go back and if I really love that game, pay for it. Because I know with Xbox Pass, you do have to pay for it. If they take it off the pass, you do have to go play.
But they also do have.
But they give you a discount.
Yeah, but they do have
so
that.
I will say that
they do have that monthly release, like you're talking about, right? Like, they do have 2 or 3 games every month. Yeah, it's called Games with Gold.
They do for
it's
free.
the same thing. I will say.
That I should know that.
No, that's okay. I will say since Game Pass, but I'll be honest, you mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn being one that you got on the PlayStation,
Yes.
Plus.
And it just came to PC.
Yeah,
with
Games with
really
Gold, I will be honest, ever since they added Game Pass, and you just mentioned how, yes, you can buy the game if they take it off, it's like Netflix, except you can buy it at a discount if they're gonna, and they let you know, you don't just wake up one day and it's gone. They'll tell you, okay, in 2 weeks these games are leaving.
Yes.
But I will say the Games with Gold, the quality of game, you haven't seen any heavy hitters anymore. But the games that will never leave Game Pass are Xbox first-party studio games. So they will always be on Game Pass. So if the new Halo comes out, you're never going to have to worry about Halo leaving Game Pass. It is an Xbox game. Games that'll leave Game Pass are, for a month and a half, they'll have GTA 5 on there, or they'll have Red Dead Redemption, or I'm sure you're probably going to see Cyberpunk soon be on there.
Probably.
Things like that. Those will be on for, months, 2 months at a time. A lot of these are single-player games, and you're probably going to play through them once and then be done with it anyways. All the I will be. I mean, you know this. Most of the top multiplayer games in the world right now are all free to play.
Yeah.
Halo's
Apex,
free
Legends,
to play.
Halo,
Call of Duty, Apex.
Call of Duty, Apex. Yeah, all of those are all free, and they're one of the top. They're one of the top ones played.
Yeah.
They're all free to play. Yes, you can sink money into them, but they are free to play.
Cosmetics, yeah.
It's like any free to play game. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's free. Why do I have to buy this?" I'm sorry. How do you think they're gonna make their money on that game?
Clash of Clans was free. That thing made
No
billions of dollars.
I know. Like no one said you had to buy the skin.
Yeah. Candy Crush was free. That still made billions of dollars too.
Yes. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I bet you're someone that used real money on Candy Crush.
Actually, I never got into Candy Crush.
What about Clash of Clans?
Nope, never
What
got
mobile
into it.
game have you dumped money into that you're ashamed to mention?
Farmlands.
Oh no, Kia.
Farmlands. Or Farm Family, something like that. I
Yeah.
don't remember. Farmville, there we go.
Dumping real money because you didn't want to wait for your thing to be built, didn't you?
Yeah. Like,
You didn't want to wait for that.
No.
You didn't want to wait for that corn to grow overnight, so you dumped money into it to
No.
speed it up.
Gotta spend them gems.
Oh no. Well, everybody,
Oh,
thanks for
man.
joining me and Kia on another episode of Parents vs. Gaming. We're sorry Jay couldn't be here. He was busy this week, so we'll have him back next week. But like I said, this is just a little bit holiday buying guide. We'll revisit this right before Black Friday, just to give a little bit of tips. So on behalf of myself, James III, and Kia, where can they find you if people want to look you up?
I'm on Twitch. You can find me at KiaKane0801.twitch. I'm sorry. Twitch.tv//Kia.
Well, you're all over the place, Kia.
And I am everywhere.
You know what? We'll put a link. We'll put a link in the description.
Just put a link.
Yeah, we'll put a link if you wanna check out Kia.
everywhere today.
And yeah, she is streaming video games, guys. But if you want to stop by and ask her questions related to Parents vs. Gaming, she's gonna be
Yes.
glad to help you. She'll help you at
I
any
am
moment.
always.
Or she's telling Kane to put something down.
Always.
So it's
Oh, you
always
always see my
entertaining.
hand?
So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Hope everyone has a good week. Bye-bye.
Bye.